In this video, I'm going to tell you guys about the comics that are on Final Order Cutoff this week, specifically the indie comics that are on Final Order Cutoff this week. That cutoff date is going to be August 15th, and this is going to be for the books in the Diamond Previews World catalog, looking at Image, and then down to Boom, Dark Horse. IDW would have a slightly earlier date, but we'll get this out before that date as well. That's going to be on Sunday. Marvel would have a Sunday date as well. Both IDW and Marvel come through Penguin now, but you can order them straight through Diamond just a day early. And then after that, going down to, Dynamite's down there, and then finally the comics and graphic novel section, where we're looking at lots of other different smaller publishers, including Aftershock, Vault, Behemoth, soon to be Sumerian, all kinds of different comic companies in there, Source Point Press. Lots are actually on Final Order Cutoff now, so that is fantastic, and we're going to get into this now. So, starting at the top, we are going to talk about Antioch Number One from Image Comics. This one written by Patrick Kinlan and Marco Ferrari. Frontiersman creators pick up where that series left off with an all-new ongoing series. A king from a lost continent enters the world of man with a purpose to stop us from killing the planet. But when he finds himself in a superhuman prison, his title is useless and his powers only matter if they help him survive. I loved Frontiersman. Fantastic story. So I am excited to check out Antioch and see where the story continues to. Moving down the list from Image, we have The Dead Lucky, issue number 2 from Melissa Flores in French. Carlo Magno. Fantastic first issue. I just talked with the writer, Melissa Flores, on the show just this past Thursday. So go check out that interview. I will link that up here for you guys to go check that out. It is such a good conversation about The Dead Lucky, about Power Rangers, about all kinds of different things, looking at what we're both picking up and reading. I had such a fun time, and so go check it out. It's a great discussion. But issue 2 is on Final Order Cutoff this week. The debut of San Francisco's newest electric superhero rubs plenty the wrong way, and Bibi struggles to find common ground in her relationships with both the living and the dead. As the Salvation Gang beefs up their army, Morrow takes a quieter approach to unmasking the vigilante. Next up on the list from Image Comics is a bunch of reprints for a story that I think everyone's going to love and everyone should check out, and that is 8 Billion Genies from Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. There is a third printing of issue number 1, a third printing of issue number 2, third printing of issue number 3, and a second printing of issue number 4. This is kind of the story that right now everyone is talking about, and it is all with merit. Fantastic story that Charles Soule and Ryan Brown are bringing us. So do not miss this. If you have missed picking up the first prints, go pick up these reprints because they're really cool covers anyways. So you might as well get in on it while you can. Next up, Twig number 5 of 5 from Image Comics, written by Scotty Young and art by Kyle Strom. This is the miniseries finale. The conclusion of the Dark Fantasy Adventure series brings Twig and Splat to the end of their quest. But will they acquire the final piece of the recipe they need to save the world? Or will they die trying? I've loved this. Twig is so cute, so fantastic, and so wild and out there, and I love Scotty Young's writing, so I've been enjoying this one. Coming down from Image down into the Boom Studios section, we have Basilisk number 11 from Colin Bunn and Jonas Scharf. Deep in the earth, the five witness something truly awful that they'll never forget, something connected to their equally fearsome abilities. In the present, Hannah is brought to the commune while Vanessa's madness and bloodlust take on a whole new level, threatening everyone around her. Just Another fantastic series that this is getting close to the end of the third story arc. Issue 12 will wrap that up. This is 11 here. I don't know if that's the end, but it's feeling like we're getting close to an end here. And again, another awesome writer here, Colin Bunn, and Jonas Scharf's art is just top notch. Very good range on his art as well. So be sure to be reading Basilisk there. Next up from Boom is another reprint. I don't really talk about reprints that much. And this one, though, is the only reprint for Something's Killing the Children in a while. And that is the reprint for issue number 25. It is getting a second printing with a new cover here. The dog looking at the blue scarf just nailed into the wall. That was an emotional issue. If you haven't read it and don't know what that's referring to yet, live in your ignorance and be blissful. It's a sad moment. We'll keep moving, though, because we've got the Stuff of Nightmares to talk about. That is from R.L. Stine, A.L. Kaplan, and Francesco Francavilla doing the cover A artwork is fantastic. R.L. Stine is back, but not for the faint of heart, with a chilling take on an iconic character, perfect for fans of Fear Street and EC Comics horror titles. In the first of Stine's reanimated reimaginings, you're familiar with the classic tale of a mad scientist hell-bent on creating life, but what these two demented brothers have created is something else entirely. Horror lovers won't want to miss the legendary author's return to comics in his first creator-owned single-issue series with art by A.L. Kaplan, who did the artwork on Ma and Jim Henson's The Storyteller. Fans also won't want to miss celebrating this milestone event with a Bjorn Berens variant signed by R.L. Stine, and not one but two extra spooky glow-in-the-dark covers by Francesco Francavilla and original Goosebumps cover artist Tim Jacobus. Pretty cool stuff going on with this one. I think all those horror fans out there are going to want to pick this one up from Boom Studios. Next up, going into Dark Horse Comics, is another horror story. This one is Shock Shop from Colin Bunn, Danny Luckert, and Layla Lays. They are presenting a brand new horror anthology flip comic taking place in a haunted comic book shop with a twisted retailer filled with tales of terror sure to leave you with the lights on. In Familiars, after a painful divorce, Trevor rents a house and tries to rebuild his life. Soon, he discovers that his house appears to be haunted by more than one spirit, and the creatures begin feeding on Trevor's feelings of anger and guilt. In Something in the Woods in the Dark, a husband and wife going through a tough time go on a camping trip with a few friends. As they trek further into the forest, they realize they are being stalked. Something in the Woods starts killing the camper, and it may have ties to the campers more than any of them realize. Whew! It's a 4-issue anthology series. It is a horror series. We are headed into spooky season. It's in shops in September, so don't miss this one. Last up from Dark Horse is The Ward, issue number 4 of 4 from Kevin Scott and Andres Ponce. Supernatural epidemic is sweeping the city of Curtin, sparing no one, human or not. The screams of the infected wail through St. Louis with no cure in sight. Patients are spilling into the hallways and being turned away. Dr. Nat Reeves is doing all that she can, but she's just one person. Saving the city may require drastic measures. Next up on the list, we're going into the comics and graphic novel section, looking at a book from Scout Comics. This one is Asa the Barbed, number 1 of 5 from Pat Shand and Rio Burton. Launching a fantasy epic, Asa was born into a family that 4 generations served in the Obsidian Guard, a military unit of holy warriors. During Asa's coronation, a magical ceremony that would imbue her with a holy, glowing power. Something went wrong. Instead of the sacred obsidian tattoo, she became marred with thorned black markings and was banished by her people. Now, Asa lives in solitude, guarding a great evil. But when that evil escapes and begins to spread its wicked power, Asa must make a choice: save the people that expelled her, or allow her hometown to fall to evil. With an emotional, comedic, and awe-inspiring story of empowerment, Asa the Barbed blends fantasy, adventure, mythology, horror, and action in this unforgettable new series. Don't miss this one. Pat Shand is an incredible writer, and this series looks fantastic. I've read the Ashcan that came in one of the Scout Comics box that I got, and it is good. It is fantastic. I love the artwork. Pat Shand, again, such a great writer. If you have not read Destiny New York, you are missing out on an incredibly magical world, and I think this is going to be another cool fantasy magic world coming from him. Moving down the list, we got the return of Erratic. Erratic Recharged, issue number 1 from Kari Andrews, doing art and story. That is wrong because Brian Ribber is also doing art. So Diamond messes up again. No surprises. But Recharge Complete, the teenage hero with superpowers that only works for 10 minutes a day, is back to save the world again as he navigates even more pressing perils: young love, bullies, a broken family, and the gauntlet that is high school. This time, young Oliver Leaf is teamed with a barbarian princess who claims to be from another dimension. Spinning from the pages of the Resistance, Erratic combines electric action, teen drama, and pure comics fun, which is why I loved this comic to begin with. The fun action that was going on with it in that first volume kept me in. A little bit of drama, a little bit of love, a little bit of things like that, but the action and just character having fun pulled me in and kept me there. Next up, going down the list from Sumerian Comics, that's right, the company formerly known as Behemoth Comics, becoming Sumerian Comics, rising from the ashes, whatever you want to say. Illusion Witch number 4, Ruben Romero, Andrea Errico, Rodrigo Catraca doing the cover here, and I'm loving this little world that's being created. I've read the first 2 issues. I think 3 hasn't hit shelves yet. Maybe this week we'll see that. As Adia confronts a threat only she can face, the 3 recruit a menacing group of foes to hunt down Adia and the Circle. There we go. Mindset number 3, also on the list this week from Vault Comics, Zach Kaplan and John Pearson. Ben Sharp and his friends build a new command center for their startup, replete with new coders and good intentions. But when their app goes viral and they achieve overnight success at the hottest technopreneurs in the valley, they'll find themselves swimming with sharks and facing the dangerous dilemma of just how unscrupulous they are willing to be for their vision. Next up, we've got back over to Sumerian Comics, Pop Star Assassin Volume 2, issue number 1 from Ed Laval and Marcelo Basile. Pop Star Assassin's back, baby. Veronica gets a ride. McQuinn and Molly visit an old friend at Paradise City. TT rolls out in a 1965 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. We take a walk through Mr. Bruce's subconscious with Mr. Kralik. Volume 1 was wild. Volume 1 had a lot going on, and it was fun. So I'm looking forward to Volume 2 here. Next up, coming from Vault Comics, is Revealer issue number 1, the tie-in to the movie that Michael Morecki and Tim Seeley put out over on Shudder. It has been it's been called a hit horror movie, and I really need to watch that. I need to get Shudder so I can just watch this movie. I love Michael Morecki's writing and Tim Seeley as a creator, writing and art. So I can't wait to check this out. I need to see what their brains did in putting out this movie to begin with. So movie tie-in, I gotta see the movie soon, but I'm going to definitely be checking this out. Learn more about the characters, the lore, the Revealers adult bookstore, and what awaits on the other side of the biblical apocalypse. 2 more on the list here. Space Lady number 3 from Ashley Warwick. Icky Comics on social media platforms. Space Lady continues the journey of using her incredible armor technology and qualified immunity and paycheck to get super, super high. Due to recent civilian complaints and an attitude enhancement officer is assigned to Space Lady. I can only see that going wrong. That attitude enhancement officer does not know what they have coming for them. But Space Lady's been a super fun comic to check out, and highly recommend picking this one up if you're looking for something wild, something out there in space. Go pick that one up. Last on the list from Aftershock Comics is one from Brian Hawkins and Sammy Cavella, bringing The Vineyard back with issue number 2 here. Issue 1, loved it. Super cool concept, and seeing what this family is dealing with and the kids are dealing with. Really, they're going to be forced to put into this situation of killing to keep the vineyard running, and the moral and ethical dilemma that comes along with this, and the devotion to this god. It's wild. The Vines family finds their second victim in sacrifice. Adonis dives deeper into his devotion to Dionysus, to his father's delight. Meanwhile, Sophia returns home to save her mother, but Marantha isn't willing to give up on the family just yet. Of course, something's got to keep Sophia there to push the story forward, and I think that's great. That's going to really get to push on those moral boundaries a little bit more with these characters. So, issue 2 on Final Order Cutoff. Lots of cool indie comic books on Final Order Cutoff this week. Some ending, some new. Go check them all out. Let me know in the comments which ones you're reading right now, which ones you're picking up. Any new ones out there that you are going to pick up. Drop those down in the comments. And as always, collect what you love. See you next time.